Hey, what's up? It's DJ Stickboy, and as many of you know, the new Apex season has been released, and I'm ecstatic about it. I'm really excited to continue playing it. They added a bunch of new things to the game, a bunch of new updates that feel very fresh. Map, locations, new character, new gun, and I'm just going to go through some of the things that I've discovered, especially with Seer. I love playing Seer. I'm going to probably play him more as the season goes along, and I'm really excited about this new character. I think he's phenomenal. I hope that you are too. Plus, welcome, Apex Legends. Welcome to all of you who are new that watch Tim the Tatman, Nick Merckx, and other big streamers like Cloak that have come over to the game. So I thought that it would be helpful to sort of break down what Seer can do, as well as show off some of the new additions to the Apex Legends Season 10 update. And before we continue, can you quickly go to the bottom right of the screen here and hit that subscribe button and click the bell? That really would help me out if you like the video. If you have any more additional questions related to Season 10, or have any comments related to the video or about Season 10, just let me know in the comments. Also, I stream on twitch.tv at DJ Stickboy. Go ahead and follow me there if you want to see some live content. Also, I have all my other socials below. Please feel free to follow me there, and I'd love to have you in my community. Now, let's get into it. So, Seer's passive is Heart Seeker. You can hear and visualize the heartbeats of enemies within 75 meters when aiming down sights. His tactical is Focus of Attention. Summon micro drones to emit a delayed blast that goes through walls, interrupting and revealing enemies, as well as their health. Keep that in mind. And then Ultimate Exhibit. Create a sphere of micro drones that reveal the location of enemies moving quickly or firing their weapons within. So, those are his three abilities. Now, there are a couple of good ways to improve with Seer, and here's one. If you are about to engage an area, you're going to see a register of a heartbeat for an enemy. And notice how the arrow is pointing to the left. Now, ideally, you want to get this circle yellow, because the heartbeat means he's right on the he or she is on the other side of this wall. And this is the perfect opportunity to use the tactical ability, or Q.
Be great on this.
See, because you hit the enemies, you can see where they are through the wall, and it's indicated by ADSing the wall and hearing and visualizing the heartbeat. This will really improve your usage of the tactical ability, because it's very valuable to know exactly where they are in order for them to be stunned or interrupted. This is crucial to getting better. Now, unlike Bloodhound, where you don't have to think and it really exposes your location, you can really play around with this in ADS and try and find exactly where people are, so you can get out some good pings and provide information to your team. Okay? So, this character is much more of a support recon, but not as hefty as Crypto on the support side, and it's much more dynamic. So you're going to want to be mobile using this and attacking through the wall. Also, if you noticed, when you hit these enemies with the tactical ability, you can see what health they have, which is also important to know. If you've got a person with purple armor on the other side, you know what you're challenging when you swing around the wall or go through the door. That's very important. Now, as you can see, we have our ultimate ready. So we're going to go ahead and pop the ult. You can throw it out just like this. And when you're in cover, you'll be able to see footsteps typically. and you see that there are 2 enemies detected at the bottom of the screen. So if they were moving targets, you'd be able to see them moving. But here's the problem, is that this ultimate, if placed incorrectly, can be broken by the other team. So it does an initial reveal, and then you can hear the footsteps of the other teammates. So it's critical that you place this ultimate properly in a location that it's going to be difficult to destroy and out of the view of enemies. This will help overall with your use of of Seer. And this is different than Bloodhound, and this is different than Crypto, primarily because this ult is not necessarily meant 100% just for pushing. This could be used in higher level ranked matches. This could be used for just finding information if you're ratting up during a ranked match. It doesn't give away your position by any means, which is great because Crypto's ult and Bloodhound's ult definitely give away the position of the team that you're fighting with. I mean, it's visible, but most people don't know where it's deployed unless they watch you throw the ult. Now, on to the new gun. The new gun here is called the Rampage, and it's charged up with thermites. Alright, we'll just get a kit. We'll reload. So you charge up the Rampage, and it begins to look like this. But if you wait a certain amount of time, this bar right here will deplete, and the charge will go away. So, as you can see, right by my face here, if I can get out of the way, it's starting to deplete slowly. Okay? So keep in mind that you need to time the rev up option. And this thing absolutely shreds. It still does at medium range without the Rampage.
I need a thermite grenade.
My preference is to have the 3x sight on it because it helps with longer range gunfights, but depending on what you like, you might prefer the 2x or the 1x if you use it in whatever situation you prefer. Heating up time takes approximately 5 seconds or so. And currently, it is way overpowered. It is way overpowered, and it's really loud. So, the next thing that we can take a look at here is the Wingman. The Wingman has a new attachment, and this attachment is called the Boosted Loader. Now, just for the sake of the tutorial, I'll move my camera over here. Now, pay attention on the bottom left here, where if you're shooting your Wingman, I'll put L1 × hollow on it. Alright, I didn't mean to do that. You can pull it out faster. Faster than normal. With that attachment. And if you wait to reload the mag, when the number in the bottom right in the remaining mag lights up green, you have a quick reload and you have 11 bullets. And it doesn't matter if it's at 2 or if it's at 1, it will always reload to 11. So that's a new feature that they added, and I think is really cool for those that like those styles of gunfights. Now, if you're an especially new member and player and gamer in the Apex community, you've likely didn't experience what disruptor rounds are. Now, disruptor rounds was an attachment added, I believe, in Season 2 to the alternator and the P2020. No, P2020 was hammer points. But, so this gives you, technically, an increased damage because of this round type. And I'll just show you an example. Back in the old alternator days, it did not make that sound or have that visual. Now, this alternator, although it's an SMG, is amazing at range, which is why it's a care packaged weapon. Okay? So it's important that you know that don't let the SMG description fool you. It's amazing up close, does a lot of damage, but you can also use it long range. Do not forget that. And lastly, we have the Spitfire. And if you played in recent seasons, you knew that the Spitfire on the previous update was an absolute nightmare to deal with because the fire rate and the damage was way too high. And this thing can shred at all distances. Mid-range, long range, and of course, up close. And you could just keep shooting. The mag size is 55, and you could just shoot for forever. It is a really strong weapon, and it's really good situationally, as well as it doesn't have a lot of recoil. This used to be floor loot, and it was embarrassing. It was ridiculous. And lastly, and certainly not leastly, the Prowler has returned to floor loot. Okay? And the Prowler was the bane of multiple seasons because the damage rate, actually the DPS, is really high on this weapon. And they got rid of the automatic option for this weapon, which I don't know why. They should have made this an automatic weapon instead of having it be burst, because the damage is bananas. I'm not the best user of it. It can do 205 damage in one mag and decimate your opponents. It is a crazy powerful weapon, and I recommend learning how to use it because the hip fire on this weapon is crazy. Right up close. It does a lot of damage. There's not a lot of bullet spread on it, which is primarily why people are worried about it being back in the game. But there's so many other options now that it might not be used as much, but it is powerful with those that have really good aim or on controller. And other weapons that I think you should pay attention to are the L-Star. They updated that it requires mags, which is weird because I think it's bugged. Because you can still have infinite ammo, it just requires it for whatever reason. At a certain point, it does overload just like the old L-Star did, but it decimates. At a wide variety of ranges, too. This gun is one of the many LMG-style weapons that can be used in this game. Everyone's using LMGs. But It doesn't run out of ammo. I don't think that that was intended at the initial update of this game. I think that that will likely change because clearly it is a beast to deal with. And I think they should require that to be changed. Meanwhile, get your practice in with Seer. I think he's going to be a very viable player, and if not viable, I think he's going to be a fun character to play because it requires a certain level of skill and awareness to be able to play him in general. So, without further ado, if you made it this far, thank you. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, and as always, have fun, Legends.